All right, interesting times we are in. That is for sure. So, all right, uh, I'm gonna kind of go off a little bit this morning. So, um, everything has moved to social media in the last 10 plus years in network marketing. When I started moons ago, there was no internet and there was definitely no social media, and so we had to have these foundational skills when it came to relationship building and building relationship capital and prospecting and communicating. And we were taught the quote old school methodologies, because that's the way it was done. And I think when we talk about old school, to me, old school is more fundamental, foundational, and then everything else is built upon that foundation. But what I see happening today, and I've had a couple conversations with people like literally this morning and then yesterday afternoon, where they're wondering. In fact, I did a training for a woman a couple days ago, and she called me afterwards because what's happening is like the organization is being taught to go be an influencer, and it's like if you take like the masses of people that are involved in network marketing, like take a snapshot of somebody's organization. Most of those people don't really have influence. So how do you take somebody that currently has no influence and teach them how to be a social media influencer? Or even, teaching people, which I think is a good idea, teaching people how to be better marketers. I think that's a wise thing. And I find it fascinating that the percentages of people that are involved uh, in network marketing are, there is a bit, I'd like to see a shift where you have people go from just having prospecting and recruiting and reaching out skills to really understanding, the fundamentals of marketing. And I love it how the term attraction marketing, the word attraction is that's actually marketing in and of itself. Putting the word attraction in front of marketing is basically taking marketing and giving it a different spin. Attraction marketing. Well, isn't that what marketing is attraction? Do all the things that are involved in the movement of a good or service from conception to end user. I mean, that's essentially the dictionary definition of what marketing is. So what I think is a problem and is actually costing you money if you're doing this, if you're sending people out to social media to have them like turn their Facebook page into a marketing machine, and to and look, I'm not knocking this, but the problem is it's the same thing as telling every person in network marketing that the first thing they should do is they should start a blog and they should start blogging. And nobody who starts a blog has any expectation that they're going to generate any lead whatsoever for probably the first year. Even a really good friend of mine who's a fellow network marketing speaker, I've heard him publicly say this, and he's known for blogging. He's one of the best like blogging network marketing speakers. He's like, yeah, that's fine. You can go start a blog as long as you're cool with not signing anybody up your first year and a half. And so, and then if you look at, and I don't have the exact number, I think it's 382, but if you look at like Facebook, the average person on Facebook globally has 382 friends, and they don't really post very often. Like my wife is kind of a prime example. I think she's probably got closer to 900 or 1,000, something like that. But you bring this new person in who's never done network marketing, who's never used their social media, their Instagram, their Facebook for business, and now you're telling them go use it for business. A lot of them are going to be honestly very resistant to that because they're like, wait, how do I go from just, family and friends, and now I'm going to be pitching this product and trying to recruit people off my Facebook page? That's a big shift. And it's difficult. In fact, you're going to get a lot of resistance. So A, you're getting resistance when you're doing that. B, those that do it are, in most cases, not really getting big results because they have such a small audience. and their audience is kind of used to the way they've always been on social media. Like in my case, as long as social media has existed, I've always been producing and pushing out content that's specific to education and network marketing on all of my social media channels. So I'm a different example from that. So my audience, in fact, most of my audience that follows me on whatever platform, it's to get education and knowledge around creating success in network marketing, not, just to, I mean, yeah, I put a lot of personal stuff out there, but it's a natural blend. It's always been a natural mix between business stuff and my personal stuff that I do in my life. But I think you'd be serving your audience or your team better if you teach them foundational building strategies. You can call them old school if you want or whatever, but I don't think that like engaging somebody in conversation and having a real chat with them, whether it's on the phone, in person, on Zoom, wherever it is so old and archaic that it's like not done anymore. I mean, what I see happening that is creating the greatest amount of success is having a really good blend of online and offline strategies, rather than like this woman I talked to. She was like I have all these people and the main upline is only pushing attraction marketing, and they're failing miserably because they're not really generating leads. They're not sitting here and picking up the phone or reaching out to people, or they're not even messaging people. They're just throw it out there and waiting for it to happen. And so she's losing people because they're just not doing the foundational fundamental things that are, you should be doing in a network marketing business. And I know I'm going to piss the systems people off, but like most of the systems that have been brought out over the last 15 years, which is probably roughly about 15 years since marketing systems like attraction marketing, affiliate marketing has been brought to our community. The problem with most of those is you don't end up actually building the business that it's put out there like, hey, use our tool, use our system to build your network marketing business. But instead, the commissions that are provided within that affiliate structure are so, I don't know, they're so fruitful, if you will, that the person ends up building that instead of the thing that it was marketed to them. Use our tools, use our system to build your network marketing business, which in theory is a great idea if it actually does that. But from what I've seen, and I've talked to people in these different platforms, like it's not like I don't talk to these people, and they readily admit, yeah, nobody in the deal is really using it to build their business. They're just building this affiliate deal. So it's like they end up distracting people away from the reason that they were brought into it in the first place, which is nuts. So again, I'm not beating up like the idea of, being good at marketing and you should work at, being, improving your social media game, getting more engagement on whatever platform you're on, being more consistent with it. And, ultimately you'll probably generate leads through that. But like to say a person is brand new and the only thing that you're teaching them is go out and be an influencer, go out and do this attraction marketing thing. I mean, it's a wait and see deal. And the problem is like a brand new person who enters a network marketing business, they need to see a check like ASAP stat, not 6 months from now. So I think you're better off teaching people these fundamental, foundational prospecting methodologies. And I've said this before on lives. I think that to some extent, we're creating a generation of weakness of people that, hide behind their keyboards and they become keyboard warriors. And it's like muscle atrophy. Like if the term, if you don't use it, you lose it. Like if you're not moving your body, if you're not like doing like if we were talking about specifically muscle atrophy, if you're not lifting weights, your muscles shrink over time, especially the older that you get. If you're not flexing communication muscle, like teaching people to put themselves in a slight position of discomfort, they don't grow. So they hide behind the keyboard and their screen and, just simply message people or put up posts and wait. And I don't think that building a network marketing business, or quite frankly, any business, is a waiting game. You got to actively, proactively go out there and intentionally build the business. It doesn't magically happen overnight. So I don't know. I just think I don't know. I'm curious. Like I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see any comments or whatever, but I don't know. From my experience and from my viewpoint and my communication with a lot of people in the profession, they're, the ones that go out there and only teach that don't really, they might paint a really pretty picture, but the reality is, yeah, they end up doing this other thing. So they totally get completely off track, and they end up going and building this other thing completely. Oftentimes it's totally bailing out on that network marketing business that they were in, that they got that tool for to use to build that business. But because they started building the tool, they started focusing on the tool, and that tool took them away from what they were doing. And now they're going and doing that, and they end up quitting. I mean, some of you have probably experienced that. Some of you have had people on your team that came in, they started using some tool that's designed to help you grow your business. And then it totally takes you off track because there's a compensation plan attached to it. I mean, I don't care what we're talking about. I mean, we could be sitting here talking about MRR or, other things, I mean, I'm not going to even go down that road. I'll skip that for another live. But anyhow, I wanted to pop on here for a few. And I don't know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I mean, you can disagree. That's totally cool. I'm not going to get mad at you. But one thing you should definitely be good at is, and I'll just put that up there real quick. You should be good at asking better questions. Like, to me, that's like one of the most important skill sets in network marketing, is being able to ask. And people are so afraid to ask, so they don't even ask. They're putting it out there. And like, even if you're doing a DM to somebody, it's like, how do you formulate a question in a manner that's not cheesy? Because people are smart. They can read through the butter up that you're trying to pull on them. They can tell that you're being inauthentic. So I have this power questions playbook that I just put up on the screen, and it's completely free. It teaches you how to ask better questions. And I'm kind of like changing the subject a little bit, but it's still the same thing, because if you're just teaching people go post content and just wait around, you got to teach them to be proactive. If you're not giving them the fundamental skill sets to be able to engage somebody in a legitimate conversation, whether it's back and forth through DMs. I mean, I'll take a DM and turn it into an actual conversation, or it's, you pick up the phone and you actually make a call. You can call me old school if you want, just don't call me old. I think the crazy thing is everybody's got these things with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'll send you a text message, and the text message is designed to get you on the phone, because then we can actually create a real connection if we don't have one yet. But, I'll give you one example. If you were going to, like, and this is on the subject of follow through, I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me and say, Todd, you should never follow up. That's follow up's dumb. I don't think anybody's stupid enough to even try to make that statement. I mean, we all know that most of your money is made as a result of your follow through, getting back to a person after you've, introduced them to whatever it is that you're involved in. And so what I mean by question or sentence structure, because not all questions are created equal. Not all sentences, not all phrases or ways of communicating with someone are equal. It's the tone, it's the pace, it's the actual words that are used. And I'll just give you one quick example, and then I'll bail. If you got information to somebody about whatever it is that you're involved in, you naturally need to get back to the person. So if I sent you a video, I'm like, hey, John, look, I just launched a school business. I'm super excited about it. If I sent you this 10-minute video, when could you take a look at it? Oh, I could probably take a look at it tomorrow. I'm like, cool. Can I get back to you tomorrow? That's better than not asking. That's infinitely better than not asking. By asking, can I get back to you? Because, like, there's a lot of people that will just throw it out there, and then maybe get back to them, which to me is like so absolutely insane. Like, why are you even in the business if you're just going to throw it out there and like think it's going to come back to you in the form of a, hey, it's like boomerang marketing. And then you got this new distributor and you know, a little new baby distributor in the palm of your hands. You have to go get the business. So asking the question, can I, is fine. And it's infinitely better than not asking. But the question, because of the way it's structured, is weak because it's a yes or no answer. Because they can say, no, actually, I'll call you if I'm interested. Some of you guys have probably, if you've been around this business or been in sales for any period of time, have had that exact experience where the person says, and that's not a fun position to be in. Like, no, I'll call you if I'm interested. So they just took total control of the situation. Versus John, you say you can watch the video tomorrow afternoon. When can I get back to you tomorrow evening? Is 6 o'clock or is 8 o'clock better for you? Even if you don't add the 6 or 8 at the end and you just change it and you put one simple word in front of that question and you change it from can I to when can I, it completely changes the question because it adds what's called a presupposition into the question, meaning it presupposes that you can without getting too technical into the English language. So that's what I mean. And so feel free if you want those power questions, it's inside of my playbook. It's a free download, toddfalcone.com/playbook. You can have it. And yeah, love to see your comments on this one. It'll be interesting. So anyhow, hope you're having a good day, guys. We'll see you on the next one.